Hi everybody, Joey, Decks and Drafts. I know if you've watched them in the past videos, I never start with hi, Joey, Decks and Drafts, but chances are I'm doing something quite a bit new with the channel. Don't get used to that though. So I wanted to change up the formula. I wanted to kind of explore many of the other card games that are out there, specifically because there is a new Discord out there. It's called TCG World. It is run by a group of individuals who just love everything that's happening in the card game space, wants to bring creators together, wants to bring fans, and if you go into it, which there'll be a link in my YouTube channel, or a link in this video, I don't know how YouTube works, link in this video, check it out. It's a great way to see everything that's out there, pre-Kickstarter, post-Kickstarter, concept, stuff that's mainstream. Amazing place to also meet creators, learn a heck of a lot about the process, which is what we're here with today. I've got the best community name ever, by the way. This is Glam Alley Mages, also known as the Bamily or the Bam Fam. Yeah. Already better. So we've got I've got Dave and I got Jenna from Glam Alley Mages. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hi, we're the Bam Fam.
So all right. So on Kickstarter it's Bamily, and everywhere it's Bam Fam.
Yeah. It's always we'll always say like love your family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, but if I'm gonna refer to us all, it's like you're my Bam Fam. Yes. What up, Bam Fam? But if I'm gonna say like sincerely, your family,
okay,
or something.
Got it. So the Bam Fam is the hype word, and the Bamily is like when I'm actually like I'm being sympathetic and genuine.
Yes, we are.
Love it.
Correct.
We are a giant family.
We overuse it entirely. We've got a little emote for it. I use it all the time. We're making it a thing.
I like it. It's better than I can do. So I work, I'm the head of marketing for Genesis, and the only thing that I've got is the Genesis Nemesis, and that's not fun at all.
Hey, that's fun.
It's alliteration, but it's also mean and evil and villainous. You are a family. I am.
Which is fun.
I am angry. So anyway, so these guys are, this is also funny. Genesis is actually based out of Toronto, Ontario. So if you look in their Kickstarter, it says Ontario, CA, which I just took as Ontario, Canada, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of, look at Canada go. And you between this, I think Legions of War and Legions of Ultimate War, you've got a bunch of games that are coming out of Canada, they're rocking it. So I see like Ontario, CA, I'm like, oh, it's another one. It's another one. Oh my gosh. Where? Maybe we'll just all meet up. Nope. Ontario, California.
Yeah.
Yes. There aren't too many of us either.
Not in California in general.
California.
Yeah, we have a very tight-knit TCG community out here. Although we'll see probably a lot of people come out at Collecticon, Long Beach, and that'll be a lot of fun meeting, all the other Californians who are into the TCG realm.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Nice.
It's gonna be awesome. That's August, so we're looking forward to it.
That's in August?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Where in California?
Long Beach.
Long Beach.
It's
I think you said that.
About literally 20 minutes away from, 30 minutes away from LA, maybe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Not far from us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, probably not.
So, I mean, knowing LA traffic, 30 minutes away from LA is about like a mile.
Oh yeah. You're not even a joke. And if you go at the wrong time, it'll be 2 hours. So,
yeah.
30 minutes, you're clear traffic, you're just cruising down. But if there's traffic, it's over. Game over.
Yeah, me and LA are not the best of friends, but if you happen to be out there, Collecticon August. Also, you might see some other visitors on my screen behind me on the tree, looking down on all of us is Luna, the cat, hanging up there. You might also randomly see, or most likely hear, either Porter or Hazel. Those are our two dogs. My two dogs. So, you guys have any pets?
Yes.
We do. They're currently locked out of this room because there's just so much going on in here. But you might actually hear them as well. They'll sit at the door and cry at us. There's 3 Bengals, Malachite, Citrine, and Sapphire. And yeah, they're super love bugs.
Yeah. Nice, I like that. Speaking of a lot going on behind you, what is actually going on behind you? Like, what is...
Okay, wait. Where?
But the Board of Doom here.
The Board of Doom.
This is... too much money spent on pins. That's what you're looking at. Disney pins. That's what you're looking at right now.
Love it.
I mean,
we went down that rabbit hole and we went deep.
We went deep.
You're talking to card gamers. You're fine. That's not an issue at all.
Yeah, I know. We're all collectors out here, so...
My wife got into Loungefly, And I'm so thankful she got into Loungefly bags because now she can't complain at me for spending like $80 on a box of cards. He's like, how much you spend on a backpack? Do you use it? No.
I don't use mine, so.
There you go.
They're really nice.
They are so.
Oh,
They're
God,
very
they
nice.
are. Like, we just have a
Yeah.
whole Loungefly episode, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Back Alley Mages and the kind of insanity that you got, because you have a very unique model to the card game. There's a lot going on, but before we jump into that, this is Decks and Drafts, so as I tend to do, I rock out beer. So what I've got going on, this is called the Good Ship Wit, which is lime, ginger, orange, turmeric, and coriander from, what are you, Foothills Brewing? Foothills Brewing out of North Carolina.
Very nice. That sounds really tasty.
And that is so wrong. Well, no, it is North Carolina. Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what I'm rocking in my good old Decks and Drafts pint glass. What do you guys got going on? You guys have brought us, I don't remember what we brought. Cider seltzer.
Seltzers,
Some seltzers. You know,
mango flavored.
I got the dad bod going on, so I got to do some low cal, low
feel-
carbs. You know, it's
I feel I'm also in dad bod territory, but the wife's like, I like the dad bod. I'm like, I'm chunky.
yes. You're like, yes. Then it shall be.
I'm a mix. I'm still like appreciating it. But anyway, cheers, mates. Let's do this. First thing, actually, this is a double cheers. This is cheers number 1 for joining me on kind of episode 1 of this little craziness. Cheers number 2, though, is you launched a Kickstarter yesterday to the glorious tune of $160,000 day 1, 450% fund. 450% funded. Congrats to that.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of feelings and happiness and joy and positivity and community and love.
I like how the more you use words, like the more you're like, now these are turning into questions. Like now it's like, then it's logistics and it's like everything that's going to happen afterwards.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, we're really lucky regarding a few things as far as that goes. We've already technically done test prints for everything.
We've got our product.
Yeah, so everything's like, I could say, okay, you want the collector's box. There's the collector's box. There's how it's kind of going to look. You want to know what the decks are going to look like in the collector's box. They're right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, here, I can bring it closer.
We're going to have a whole conversation about that. Those are real pretty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're all about the black and gold. And it's really cool. We hit the 150 mark.
Yes.
That means that all of this you see will be gold stamp. Gold foiling. It'll be nice and beautiful.
Yeah, they're gonna be gorgeous.
But yeah, we got the collector's box. We have a really basic sample of our booster box. Although I'm definitely probably going to change the design.
Yeah, we're going to tweak it a little bit. That's why we got.
So we're really blessed in that, including all the cards. The set is done, and it was very important for us to have everything done. I don't want to launch a Kickstarter when I need 100 more pieces of art.
Right.
And I make you sit around for 2 months while I'm compiling art.
Yeah.
That's, that's not fair to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really important to us to self-fund all of this art and self-fund all of the little pieces you see today, which is why it's kind of like, I feel like we shot ourselves in the foot a bit in regards to some things like spreading the word of BAM, because we didn't want to sell a bunch of stuff and then use that money. We didn't
have enough
products, so to speak.
They're in people's hands. It's too late to keep spreading the names.
Yes.
All right.
We did do a lot of giveaways up until this point, and that's what we did.
Cool. All right, so let's step back real quick, talk about the game itself, and then I want to jump into how exactly did you get started and how did this grow and how did people find out about this. But in a nutshell, if you haven't checked it out already, Back Alley Mages labels themselves as a dice-slinging trading card game, and there's more to it than that. But let's start there. Give me the elevator pitch. Can you do this? Actually, I've got it. Let's have some real fun. I got a timer. And here's what we're gonna do. If I know how to do it, I'm gonna give you 1 minute
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot
1
of
minute
time,
to elevator pitch everything you like. Let's say you have a booth at a convention, and I'm walking by. Do you want less time?
Okay. Okay, yeah, you know what? Let's pretend you are somebody who walks into my booth. Let's do it like that. And you could go ahead and count us down.
Yep.
And we'll go ahead and just let's just run with it. I've never even thought about this.
All right. I mean,
So
so I was recently at Origins Game Fair, so you have to get real good at like the 2-minute pitch. So I'm gonna give you 1 minute. The other minute's usually like demo. So you've got 1 minute. I'm
Okay,
through
I'm
your
doing
booth, and we're gonna say, because this matter. Actually, where do you? I'm gonna say that I'm a local game store. I'm a local game store owner.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Or unless you want to try something different. How about
My
be a
heart-
player? Let's do player. We'll do player first. I'll come back to local game store.
Wait, let me just
Chug up.
Need some liquid courage.
So I am a player. I love games. I see your stuff. I see your art. I see whatever. I'm like, tell me about this. You've got 1 minute. So you ready for it?
Yeah, why not?
3, 2, 1, go.
Back Alley Mages is a game that started about 3 years ago. It started as a board game, and with time, as the mechanics developed, we kept delving in further and further. Now, I'm a hardcore TCG game player. Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, you could almost, it goes on and on. I also love deck builders. So it wasn't very hard for me to see this board game and adapt it into something that meshed those worlds together. Back Alley Mages is a dice-slinging game. That means you're rolling a lot of dice. If you're a tabletop fan, you're going to love this game. We feature full art cards.
Oh,
You
see?
got me.
20.
You got
It's the first of its kind that we know of, a dice-slinging TCG that meshes these two worlds together of cards and dice, the beautiful colors. We have, wildly different mechanics.
And big things, this game is simultaneous. You can play with 6 people at the same time, and it'll flow at the same speed.
I'll give you
Oh,
this.
man,
I'll
that
give you
was
those 3
hard.
seconds left for when you got tripped up. Oh my gosh. Stop. I don't know how to use the thing.
That was hard. That was a little bit difficult.
I like you. We got this. Let's go. 1 minute. It's a little hard. Yeah, it takes some time. I'm with you. But so what I got out of that, world of its own, definitely kind of first of its kind. I'm blending kind of tabletop gamers. You're blending your tabletop gamers, your card gamers. You've been a big fan of, you're kind of a fan of both of those things. You like that it comes together very nicely in this. You've got really cool aesthetic in the full art cards that you have. It's asynchronous, which we'll talk about. You mentioned that in that minute as well. That's a good solid list right there. That's a lot. That's a big list of like also new stuff, and that's the thing that I think is most interesting. Is if I'm a player coming in as a TCGer, the first things that I'm hearing that are new to me is, all right, dice slinging is like, how do you integrate that? Not that I haven't seen that done, but the asynchronous thing is real interesting to me. That means you've got people who are playing at the same exact time, right? They're going through their functions at the same time.
Yeah,
So-
the best way it was explained to me is it's almost like a point and draw, or draw and shoot mechanic. Okay, we essentially set up our spells, and then we draw, and then we move through resolution, and that kind of builds upon interactions between the cards and the dice. And that's a big, big aspect of this game is the dice. So I may earlier on in the draw, manipulate dice in the future so that they fizzle out or they misfire.
Yes.
You kind of get what I mean?
Okay.
And that's a very basic interaction that happens.
Okay. So as a player, something like this, when I'm thinking about like, all right, what are the boxes this checks for me? This is definitely, whenever you do anything at the same time, I'm just thinking of my horror days. I know it's a good game, but my horror days of playing Captain Sonar.
Game.
Huh?
Come on.
I play with like people who have been like doing this stuff for ages. Like they're like 10, 15, 20 year gamers. So anytime you have either the chaotic or the social engineering, the better you are at those games, like the worse they get, because it just becomes a meta. And that's like half of it. So it's like, how are we going to manage this time the best? I'm like, can we just screw around? So there's a little chaos there, but so it's a little chaotic. Or at least maybe in elements of chaotic. Maybe you can pull that back. It's like whenever I say asynchronous, there's a lot of words.
You know, and that's where the mechanics carry us.
Yeah,
and that's
the
where
resolution order and how everything's so.
You know, we can flip over 20 cards, and I could point at a list. If we didn't even have it memorized, no problem. We could point at a list, and we could just go one card resolves at a time in this game. Yeah. So it is very specific. If you ever want the chaos to ensue, it's as easy as, no, this actually resolves first. And there's little communication, actually. We could probably play a game dead quiet, and that's where Captain Sonar is very different.
Right.
And remember, you're talking to somebody who's played a lot of board games and a lot of card games, so it's great. You can go ahead and talk about most board games, and I'll be able to link to this game. And yeah, we'll move on from that. Regardless,
no, we'll come back to it for sure, because I think that's a big one. Like if I'm a player hearing it for the first time, that is very much a niche for you guys, and I think that'd be a fun one to kind of explore and draw out. Like how exactly does that work? But we'll play that when you show me like rounds and whatnot. Yeah. Other things, I'm feeling like this is much more of a casual. This doesn't seem like one of those where it's just massive competition. Or what's the plan? What's the game plan?
We are.
If you can't share it, don't share it.
No. I would love to share. This is I am a competitive individual. I love playing competitive games.
That's kind of where that synchronous thing came in. Is it's like, I don't want to wait for you to do what you've got to do. We need to do this together, or I'm getting impatient and I'm going to win. So hurry up, do it.
Mind you, the rounds could go very, very fast. Mm-hmm. Like you'll see games finish in 10 minutes flat. Yeah. Because we're working together, and we're as fast as we are.
Yes.
I have literally players who could slam a game in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Not even 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a long game. 30 minutes, now you're playing a turtle deck. And I don't know how many TCGs you play, and I'm sure it's a lot.
Enough.
And I'm sure you've played them. It is a lot?
Enough. You can throw language at me. We're good.
Yeah, but if you're playing like a turtle deck versus like if you're playing control versus like mono blue, that game's gonna last 5 ever.
Right.
And you can kind of do that in this game. Not even kind of. You could definitely do it. And for me, it's annoying. I don't like adding it into the game. I don't want to per se.
Right.
But I'm not gonna take away from that whole niche of style. Obviously.
Of course.
So they're here.
So we have a even with the anytime you're rolling dice, it feels casual. There's a competitive edge though that you're definitely dabbling with. It sounds really fast paced. So if you're all about like fast paced gameplay, that's very much a thing. Going together is really cool. It sounds like you got a bunch of different archetypes because you have like a lot of different. I forgot if you call it houses of magic.
Yeah, we have 6 houses of magic, so 6 prevalent play styles. Mind you, in the booster boxes and down the line, okay, I gave you like little hints to some of the other, they're not going to be houses of magic within the booster boxes, such as like time manipulation. And when I show you how to play, you'll see that there is an aspect of rounds. Okay, there's a round timer, but this also acts like an element of time in the game. Okay, so certain things, if I spin time up or speed time up, right? Let's say you're poisoned. Okay? If I speed time up, that poison's going to lapse and go away slowly. But if I slow time down, that poison's actually going to strengthen and
got it.
Seep in. Okay, so you have there's going to be wild amounts of deck. I'm so excited.
Yeah, the booster boxes really, or the booster packs, booster cards add in.
Yeah, but we have 6.
So excited for that.
So
we have 6 houses.
So you got a bunch of different archetypes. How do the dice, I mean, I know the dice are kind of used in order to play cards and whatnot. What other functions the dice do? Like, what do they kind of bring in else that's kind of unique outside of, I am now able to play a card with this?
Well, you have things like poison, things like environments. You have timers, okay? You have not just the ability to play cards, but remember, so it's a draw and shoot sort of game. So what happens is you actually set your spells with the die you're going to use on top of them.
Okay.
You then have this period, right, where you can actually manipulate your opponent's dice, or they can manipulate your dice, or you can manipulate your own dice to either power up your cards, stop your opponent from playing cards, etc. As far as things like poison go, they remain on the field as in your persistence slots, which I'll show you later.
Yeah.
And they function on their own mechanic of their own. Really cool. At the end of the round, they deal damage, right? Cool, makes sense. When the timer spins up, those dice spin down. So they do 3 this turn, 2 next turn, then 1, right?
Okay, makes sense.
So remember, I can now manipulate time, and I can turn that 3 into a 4 if I slow time down. Because that poison is even deeper. I mean, there are some crazy amount of deep mechanics, but I never start off with that because I'm not trying to scare people away. Right. It's very exciting, right? It's very like, I learned a little bit. Now, what else? What else? What else? And I promise you there's a lot of what else's that are exciting and fun.
Which is always what makes it fun. So at its simplest form, you have spells, you have dice that basically kind of pay and set those up. Dice also serve as timers. That's the basics. And then you start stacking in debilitating, control, manipulation, and all sorts of insanity.
There's also what's really important about this game, and this was very important when we created the game, was you go through your whole deck. And I love deck builders, like, Ascension, Dominion, Slay the Spire for those who play cards on the computer.
Do not want to admit how many hours I have in Slay the Spire.
Yeah, so how fun is that mechanic where you draw 5 and then discard your hand? Well, we do that because we want you to go through your deck. So then you're asking what happens when you deck out? You shuffle your discard, put it back in.
Because you're also adding things in as you're going. You know, like with the Decay deck, you're adding in insanity to yours or your opponent mage's deck.
So then, like she said, can you manipulate your discard pile so when you shuffle it, it becomes a new deck? Absolutely. Yes. That mechanic exists in here.
Wow, okay.
And why is that important? Because we want you to look at your whole deck. Some people may spend hundreds of dollars on this deck, on a deck. And imagine in some games you only go through 5 cards. How annoying is that? 10 cards, 12 cards. I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Games end on hand draw.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
You know, and that's very frustrating. So it was very important for us to make a game where you see your whole deck.
Yeah, you see all the beautiful art that's on the cards.
Okay.
So why we also did that beyond just the aesthetics of seeing everything we're mitigating the RNG from the dice rolls to the draws, right? So we're not just top decking every round, right? Because that is a huge amount of RNG.
Right.
So we're drawing a full hand every turn.
Right.
That makes the deck less of a mathematical equation and more of an engine that you run through, and the dice feed the engine.
Okay.
Also, in this game, high rolls are not everything. You're not like, I want straight 6s. How you build your deck is, important to what dice you need, and vice versa.
If I remember seeing some of the cards had like 1 through 3 and odd, even, any number, and stuff like that as far as kind of qualification numbers. So this is a game for, like, it sounds, if I were to get into it, and if I were to, I built a thing, and I get to feel confident that I get to explore everything that I've built, which is awesome. Like, I really like that. Because, I've played enough that you, like, top card, it's a mana, yay, and you throw it away. Yeah. Like, it doesn't help anything.
Yeah, and that's another thing with deck building. The deck building is free range, okay? It's wild. You can mix as many houses as you like, but you're probably wondering, first off, we haven't explained how the whole dice mechanic even works.
Yep, we'll jump into that in a bit.
Or in games like Hearthstone, every turn you gain 1 extra, and then that adds to your mana pool. But that plays a big role as to how you play cards in this game. You actually gain a die a turn of your choice. Okay? So the deck you build can be as wild as you want it to be, but it's a matter of, if I gain a dice from this house and my deck has a bunch of other houses in it, I may not be able to play that house.
Got it.
Right?
So you're kind of constructing, knowing that you're running the risk of dead hands, even drawing 5 if you don't grab enough die. And I assume, from what it sounds like, because you work in rounds, I assume maybe you start round 1 with 1 die, and then 2, 3, and you keep going up and up. So
Precisely.
Yeah.
So,
as the game continues, the rounds just get more insane.
yes. So round 8, you're rolling 8 dice, and then you're looking at your hand of 5, and you're like, man, what can I do with my dice rolls?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right?
And that's essentially what it comes down to. It becomes a puzzle at that point, where you're looking at your options and you're saying, hey, I built this engine. This is what I have to burn the fuel. Or this is what I have to, I guess.
Burn the fuel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that worked. I hope it worked.
These are the resources I have at my disposal.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to then gauge, what can I do? And that's essentially what it comes down to. Mind you, your opponent is doing the same thing and potentially going to manipulate what you have available. So you have to be aware.
Let me ask you this then. Because if you have that kind of if you're doing that back and forth at the same time, and I know there's 7 phases. I assume that each phase is done at the same time, then you go to next phase and you do it at the same time? Okay. So it's not like whoever gets through the phase is faster. If that's the case though, if we're doing it at the same time, there's not really any reaction time. Because you guys are doing things at the exact same time. So what is the strategy? Literally just you're making your engine work? Or what's the strategy in being able to kind of gauge what the opponent might be doing? Is there any room for change in that? Or is it just, my deck's going to work better than your deck?
No, there's a lot of gameplay. Well, let's start at the very beginning of what you kind of brought up. Yes, you work through phases, sure. Is my deck going to work better than yours? Sure, we can view it like that. But at the end of the day, there is a reaction to every action. In fact, I can react, even if you want to go one step back, and I know you're playing a manipulation deck, I can set an extra die on a card at a cost, okay? And I'll explain that later.
Sure.
Beyond that, I can then react by playing manipulation cards of my own that affect only my die. Now, all manipulation cards don't affect all dice, okay? You need to understand that.
Specific.
Yeah, each card is very specific as to what it does. And the writing on these cards is tiny. I mean, I wanted to make it very easy. I didn't want you reading for 10 minutes on what your card did.
Sure. So tiny more, it's there's not as much text, not that it's small lettering.
Yeah.
I'll have something up on the screen to show that off.
Yeah.
Not physically tiny, but I wanted it to be nice and easy. There it is. And what does that say? I don't know if you can read
blurry,
it, but plus 1 spin to any 3 dice. Now, this card can go ahead and affect any 3 dice. That doesn't mean all of them do. Like, let's look at this one. It's going to state spin plus 1 to any X die you control. You control. So it's only specific to you. You also have, as far as reactions go, something really cool called your transmutation cards. I'm not trying to kill you with complicated, ideas yet. If you play a game with me, I will explain each and every aspect very simply. And the easiest way to learn this game is not watching a video or reading the rule book, because those have a lot of nuances.
Of course.
And there are, in theory, a lot of nuances. Yeah. But when you just go through the phases, phase 1, draw 5, gain a die, roll the die, done. It's really actually simple.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at the how-to, because I saw 7 phases, and I was like, uh-oh. And they're done at the same time. And then I saw how they were done, and they really are very well broken down. It's almost like steps. Where I draw, I roll, Step 1. Step 2, put down cards, assign resources to said card. That's it. We're done. 3, 4, and it is actually very well broken down. And the reason I'm kind of bringing all this up is, like, looking at it for me, seeing everything going on, I was a little bit intimidated at the craziness going on from what I saw from, like, a turn and whatnot. And now that I'm kind of taking a look at it, I'm like, this is not nearly that bad. It's actually broken down quite a bit.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of people who say, I'm intimidated by this gameplay and whatever. And then when we actually get them to come on TTS and play with us, they're like, they get it so
fast.
That ball drops so fast because it looks intimidating, and our game mat has so many different slots, but it's so easy actually. Once you just go through it, you're like, okay, this goes there and that goes there, and then we do this, and it's not intimidating.
Also, a lot of what you're seeing on the game mat is just for convenience for first-time players. You don't need half of this stuff.
Probably.
Half of this actually don't technically need anything but 3 spots, which are phase 4, phase 5, and phase 6.
Yeah.
That's all you really need on the mat itself. A lot of it is just space to roll your dice, space to put your cards down, a spot to discard your hand, so you know where it goes.
Kind of holding your hand through it.
Yes, so this game mat, as intimidating as it looks, is more for giving you places to put your dice. Like, okay, is this an available dice or available resource, right? Or is this a dice that die I already used and it needs to be expended so I know that, hey, it's over there. I can't use it anymore.
Right. All right, so we've been talking a heck of a lot about like what the game can do. How about, because I know I eventually want to get into like audience and kind of product plans and whatnot in just a sec, but let's keep that conversation going and just kind of let's see it. Let's just see this bad boy.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to move you a little bit.
That's fine. Yeah, feel free to move me and move y'all and however you guys wanted to do this. And this will be the point where we take a break and immediately cut to where everything is set up and perfect. All right. So, with all of that, everything we just talked about, I know we talked about a lot of mechanics without actually showing off the game. So we're gonna take a look at the game. We have the playmat. Looks like it's fairly set up. So I'm just gonna let Dave just show off a round really quick. And so what am I looking at right out of the gate? Before I start, what's the initial setup?
Yeah, of course. I kind of got for you right now just like kind of the things you're going to bring into a match, okay? Now, first and foremost, you'll notice there are 3 types of cards, okay? Now, these 2 have the same back, but these ones don't. Those are going to be your monsters, okay? We just call them conjures, okay? Now, you'll have 2 lesser conjures and 1 fabled card. You'll always know the card is fabled because in the name itself, it will literally say fabled and then a monster type or conjure type, okay? So I know my fabled conjure, and these don't say fabled, so they're my lesser conjures. Nice and easy. The next thing you're going to notice about their back are these dice, right? So all you do is set up a die equal to the die showing on the card. Now, these are going to act kind of as like a respawn timer. So if we were in round 1, right, you wouldn't be able to summon these guys. But when we get to round 3, these dice will come off because they're equal to or less than, and I could then summon my monster.
So I see the 2 cards left and right. They started at 3. The dice you have, because it looks like it's like black pips on clear die on a black background. So I'm assuming that those are set to 3. They're going to count down with each round, or they're just waiting for round 3 to show up. Those become active.
Round 3 to show up. Mind you, you can always manipulate these dice. These are fair for manipulation. This one is not. So I could spin this down to a 1 if I had some magic, and I can actually, if it's equal to or less, then get rid of it, and then summon this monster earlier if I needed it. If I was a monster or conjure-based deck, okay? That's just probably more than you needed to know, but I thought you should know. Next, we have something called our transmutations. They will always be black and white, okay? So they will actually end up mixing into your main deck as you gain them. They're black and white for easy discernment. So when you're done with the game, you could just look through your deck and you'll say, oh, there's my transmutations, and you'll be able to take them out and put them back where they belong, in the transmutation pile.
Okay.
You will then have your spell deck, which is going to be 30 cards, and it has to be 30 cards, no more than 3 cards, and only one copy of any fabled card, okay? So similar to Legendary in Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Right? It's just going to go right over here in your spells. The next thing you're going to need to bring into a match are the dice you need in order to play the deck you built. For all the starter decks, they come with 15 dice.
15?
15.
Okay. Yes, 1-5.
15 dice specific to your deck. Okay? So you should be good up until 15 rounds, but you will see the game ends much sooner than round 15. Generally, round 7 is always 7, 8, 9, game's done. Okay? You will just set these aside, okay, in a separate pile. Now, we'll go ahead and start a round. So phase 1 of a round is as simple as draw 5 cards. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth into how to play a card, or would you like me to do that?
No, let's.
That's up to you.
No, we'll be good with that one. Check out the Learn to Play video, everybody, for the in-depths of all of this.
Yeah. So it's as easy as I draw 5 cards, I gain a die, I think would either work with the hand I drew or work in the future of knowing my deck. For example, if I know this deck runs a lot of red pips, I'll go ahead and grab a pink and red die. So draw 5, gain a die. Whenever you gain a die, it enters here, expended. It means it's not available. I then roll the die, and it becomes available. So that's what these 2 slots are.
Okay.
Available die.
So let me jump real quick, just so we have this part clear, because we have a lot of different colored die, we have a lot of different pips. So from my understanding of this, the cards that you have, in order to use them, requires some sort of qualifier, some sort of roll on a combination color pip die, right?
Yes.
So in this case, I can't see what the top one is. Looks like a red die with red pip.
So that's actually really interesting. You noticed that, and that's really good. That means the top color you see is actually referenced to the main color of the die. Mind you, there's also symbols for those who are colorblind, okay?
Nice, okay.
Okay, so we have something for those who are colorblind, but since this is empty, that means the main color of the die can be anything, and the bottom refers to the pip. So just red pips. You need a die with red pips. And when you roll it, it needs to be between a 4 and be 4 through 6. And there it is. That would have worked. My roll proc.
So by rolling that 4 through 6 on the correct die combination, that allows you to basically prep that spell so you can use it later.
Exactly. And we'll get right into it, okay? And at first that might sound like, oh my gosh, there's so much there. But when you're actually playing, I promise you'll roll your die, you'll look at the cost, and you'll say, oh, is that a green pip? Yes, it is any. Cool. Or it's a 4 through 6. Cool. I can play this card. When you're rolling 8, yeah, it gets a little bit more of a understanding. After your first 3 matches, you're going to be deep into it. You're going to be able to roll 5 dice and know exactly what you can play. Okay.
For that, that kind of bubbled up a little bit.
Die.
Hold on, that bubbled up just a little bit. So to repeat that, by the time you get to like 5 dice, you're gonna have a really good understanding of the things that you can play.
Yes, and after your third game, for sure, you're gonna be you'll just be flying through and understanding exactly what you can play based off of your roll.
So if I were to relate this feels like it's almost like a Hearthstone, but instead of there we go. Welcome back. It's almost like it makes me think of Hearthstone, where you always get like +1 to your total resources every round, but the difference is that the resources are kind of different based on what you need the deck to be, and you get to pick what they are every round. Like, yes, I need more green, I need more red or more blue. I'm going to go get one of those, and that's going to just enhance what I'm able to do with my hand.
Exactly.
And that's where the deck building fun comes in.
Also an understanding of your deck here. Just because you drew a card that you want to play doesn't mean you should gain that die, because you have up to 3 copies. So you kind of have to have forethought. Beyond that, you don't know if the rest of your deck needs it in the early game. You kind of have to think, what dice do I need early game? Which dice do I need late game?
Okay. Help me with, like, if you're recycling the deck, why does it matter?
Wait, what was that?
If I'm recycling the deck anyway, why does it really matter about... Where does holding dice and holding stuff for later mean? Or, like... I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this. You said that if I don't care about this card now, I've got 3 copies in the deck.
Yeah, sure. Why? Well, you're going to have to go base... So let me explain it like this. Is a really good way to look at it, okay?
Okay.
So this deck runs white pips, okay? Right? It also runs red pips and green pips. And I know we're already diving deep into the mechanics.
Yeah.
We're skipping rounds.
It runs different color mana for those following.
Yeah, essentially. So if you're running more red in a deck, right? Let's say you're running more mountain in an MTG deck, you're probably not going to want to gain all your blue. If you're running a red-blue deck, you're not going to want to gain all your blue right away. Even if you have 3 cards that require you to play blue, you're going to kind of have foresight as to what you may draw. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that makes sense. So I'm basically building up... I mean, I hate to keep going back into Magic, but it's the best way to connect it. I'm basically building up the mana pool. Even if I'm holding a hand of all red, I know later I'm going to need to drop different colors. And because you're adding resources every time, you're always going to have those. You're really setting up kind of your end game at the same time you're dealing with what you have now.
And that is exactly it. If you want to go into the meta of how you're going to, when you build your deck, that's how you're going to have to think. And when you play a deck you built, you're going to have to think, what die do I want to gain each round? And it won't always be the cards that you can play that round. For example, I have a bunch of green pip cards here, right? So my instinct may be to grab a green pip so I can play one of these cards, but that might screw me over later because I'm going to discard all these anyways.
Right.
So all the cards are gone now.
So you really are thinking about the entire deck in this game.
Yeah.
And your strategy is the engine that you have built in your 30 cards. That's actually really cool. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, there is, you know how you said there's not much reaction in this game? I can't prove you wrong until I show you how to play the game.
Sure.
And when you're like resolving spells by the spell, there's a lot of reaction because your opponent may do something, and when you flip over your next spell, you may need to do something in reaction that you didn't plan on doing, but you had to do.
Got it.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot of reaction actually, and everything is we're playing mono red right now. I'm playing mono red. If you want to stick with Magic,
sure.
Okay?
Yep.
The most simplified deck in the game, and it's from the House of Passion. Okay, just so you know, it's the House of Passion starter deck. It's mono red. So when I say, oh, I'm just manipulating things and this and that, we're talking the most basic mechanics of the game.
Right.
And I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not. I'm really not. But I'm also trying to envelop people into the depth that has been created.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's I appreciate that. And I think the breakdown of the phases are really good here.
Yeah, let's run it.
So we got phase 1, which was draw roll. 2, it looks like I think is spell prep, right?
Yeah, so spell prep is really important in a way, okay? When you prep a spell, you're not going to want to put it directly into the phase it goes into. And if you want to know what phase it goes into, it's very, very simple.
I'm sure it's on the card.
Okay, let me just show you. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It said right there.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay, it said Perfect Storm Manipulation. So I look at phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, and I look for which one says manipulation. So I know this card's going to set in phase 4 because it's a manipulation spell. But we don't, so we're in phase 2.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that yet because you want the opponent to try to figure out what you're going to do.
Exactly. It's it's actually more like set, draw, shoot.
Yep.
Right? I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. I like that.
So I'm not even going to put the die on top of it in phase 2.
Yeah, because that might give it away.
That might give it away. If the opponent knows my deck, they may say, oh, a red 6 or a pink red 6 on top of a card is probably an offensive spell. They may be able to discern that right off the bat. So I don't do that. Phase 2 is as simple as put the cards I want to play down, and then I discard my hand, and I don't move on it until my opponent discards his hand. I don't want him to react, right?
Okay. So man, there's a lot of head games. Just real quick, the 6, that doesn't matter. Like, if let's say the qualification was either even or 4 through 6, does the 6 matter anymore? Other than that is qualified? Would it matter if it was a 4 or a 5?
No,
okay.
It could. Yeah, it could. It could if your opponent knows your deck.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Right? Especially if I'm playing a heavy wisdom would be like your blue deck, right? If I'm playing a blue deck, I am looking at everything my opponent's doing. And it's why it's the hardest deck to play, is because you have to have a very good understanding of the mechanics and what cards they could be potentially playing. And that's why everything's face down in this game. You can't even look through your opponent's discard like in other games. You're not allowed.
Gotcha. So let me ask.
Because
you got phase 1, you get after phase 2, is it possible, like, is there you kind of look over what each other has and figure it out from there? Or do you just kind of have to go?
Wait, you're breaking up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that might just be, it's where we're at. We'll hold up this stuff. So you roll a 6. It's phase 2. You've set down 1 card. Is there like a little break where I can look and be like, you have a red 6. I'm going to think about what I want to do.
Oh, look it. Once I discard my hand, I have to wait until the opponent discards his hand to move forward.
Okay, so there are breaks in between phases. It's not like race through the game as quick as humanly possible.
No, there's time.
There's actually, yeah. You could actually jump. So this is where you can jump. You could do phase 1 and phase 2 as fast as you want. Yeah. But when you discard your hand, you don't do a single thing until your opponent... You don't move to phase 3 until your opponent discards.
Gotcha.
You do not. Unless you don't care.
That might be telling on its own.
Yeah, like mono red doesn't care, bro. Mono red is gonna do what mono red does. It's gonna burn.
Right.
So, I could do this if I really wanted to, because it's not gonna change what I do. But when you have 6 dice and you mono red does still have some manipulation, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna show them that I'm gonna smack, because they may be afraid of the manipulation I have. They may then do something in turn. Or if I play it offensive, they may play some defensive spells, right? Or manipulation spells to stop this. So I just leave this here. And I say, you can try to guess what I have.
Now, can you... if you set a spell, do you have to use it?
Okay, yeah, so you are not obligated to play anything until both players have discarded their hand. So in a competitive sense, there is a timer for this phase, okay? In a competitive sense. There will be. When we're doing $100 competitions, $1,000 competitions, there will be a timer for phase 1 and phase 2.
But once you set it, you have to play it.
Okay.
Once you
have to play
it.
So I can't bluff you and be like, I'm going to put down 3 cards, and I can actually only use one of them.
Get this.
Yeah,
get
no,
this.
you don't want to do that.
No, get this. If you do that, if I see you put down 3 cards and I were to discard, okay, so let's go. You want to play like heavy mechanics? We can talk. You're playing the mind game? We could dive in. So let's say you put down 3 spells to try to bluff me, okay? I put down the 1 and you discarded your hand.
Yep, so we're done.
I put down my hand, okay?
Okay.
You are not locked in to setting those spells. When you set them and they resolve, if you do not have the die required to play on top of it, you will misfire and take 2 damage.
Okay, so it's almost like a mana burn. Like, you can't... The head games are only going to go so far. They're going to hurt you if you lose.
Yeah, head games only go so far. You're going to only hurt yourself if you decide that you want to try and bluff with them.
Yes, you're going to literally take 6 damage. Mind you, in a competition, you have 30, so a fifth of your health gone for like fun,
right?
So to speak. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we're through 2. Yeah. We've got it set. We've got the head games going.
We're prepped. We're not setting yet. That's phase 3. But you got it. I'm not trying to. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but I'm just.
No, yeah. Correct me on this stuff. Like I said, I'm breaking it down very simply as best as I can. But if I get the order wrong, let me know.
Yeah, no. So phase 2 is spell preparation, right?
Yep.
It's right in front of you. Phase 3 is now when we begin setting spells. So
okay,
you could look at your card. That's fine. Or you could, based off of memorization, know what phase it goes into. You move the card into the phase, and you put the dice on top, okay? When your opponent is done setting spells, and you are done setting spells, it's the end of phase 3. Now, mind you, if you set let's pretend this timer was gone, right? This respawn die was gone, and I set, this monster.
Because you want to summon him?
Yeah. Phase 3 ends when all the monsters are summoned that you set that round. Okay, so that's it. You would set your spells and summon conjures if able. That's it. That's phase 3.
Okay. Looks like 4, 5, and 6 are resolution in an order of type of spell.
Yeah, it's as easy as this. Okay, well, that's not even going to proc, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, I'm not trying to go but it's as easy as this. Do you have phase 4 spells? Does your opponent have phase 4 spells? If the answer is yes, you reveal all phase 4 spells. It doesn't matter if there's a million, okay? They do the same. You then work down the resolution based off of the spell type, okay? So and this doesn't happen so often, if there are 10 spells here, you'll kind of have to work down a list of, okay, spin is going to go first. Okay, expend is going to go next. That doesn't happen often, okay? Because remember, you have a limit of how many cards you can play in theory, unless you play a draw build, which exists. Okay. I'm going really far in
No
depth.
worries. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with this. I can break it down.
Yeah, pretend phase 4. Okay, they don't have any. I could just resolve mine, right? After it resolves, okay, I do the thing it says. It expends. The die is used, and the card is used. Then we go to phase 5. They don't have anything. I don't have anything. We're done. Phase 6. They don't have anything. I don't have anything. We're done. Phase 7. Let's say I had some available knowledge here. It actually all expends. If I had any cards here, I make sure they're expended. If I had any defense, it expends. The only thing that does not expend in phase 7 are your persistent effects.
Okay.
You can have up to 6. Okay, that's all that is over there. And that's it.
So buffs, debuffs, you just... Okay. So after all of that, it's draw, roll what resources you're going to have, prep cards that will get assigned and set using those resources, set those, and then expend those resources, resolve, reset.
That's it.
And that's it.
It's
That's
that
the game.
easy.
All of that, that's the game.
That's the game.
Pretty much. That's it. Yep.
The mechanics drive the complexity of the game.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've like looking through, and you were kind of apologizing for the complexity aspect, but I like seeing it because I looked at it, and again, I'm going off of, I show up at your table, and I know nothing about this, and I see dice, and I see full art cards with very little text. I'm naturally inclined to not really think either like it's going to be overly complicated. Knowing that it's asynchronous means that it's going to be overly chaotic, and the lack of text means it's not going to be overly complex. And all three of those are not even close to what actually happens. There's a lot of depth here. It's actually very simple to understand seeing it.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Like that, I would have needed the conversation in order to see it, but that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we focus so hard on getting people confident to come and play with us and learn from us so that we can show them. We get a bit nervous when people say, oh, I'm reading the rule book. It's like, okay, that's important.
I know that feeling. Don't read the book. Don't read the rule book.
Yeah, don't start there. Don't, because you're gonna walk away in 2 seconds. You're gonna be like, "What the hell is this?"
Because I have to explain little nuances, like, oh, a defense die. You can use this to block any instance of damage, but if this and this and that and that, you know what I mean? When it's as simple as you have a placeholder for your defense, use it to block some damage.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
But I can't write that.
So the die in this game are basically all encompassing. They cover everything. They cover time, they cover resources, they cover amount of damage, amount of defense. They're basically everything that would be leveraged with either a token or a notepad.
Absolutely.
Everything. The dice are everything in this game.
So they're very fully functional. All right, so let's talk a little bit of the product itself. So let's get back to your faces, because I want to see some of the quality of this stuff as well, and kind of wind down that we spent a long time chatting about the game.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. I was really curious about how do you make a dice-slinging TCG function, especially with everything that you have. So I'm glad that I saw it, because I'm full candidness here. Even my kind of misconceptions of the game have been a little thrown away off of the little I was able to see.
You're breaking up quite a bit, unfortunately.
All right. Well, let's switch back to your faces, and we'll reset, and I'll redo all that. Back to your bright and shiny faces. Which actually, you guys remind me of owners store owners that have friends down the street. Their names are Carly and Logan. They own Manivault Games. You have like a very similar vibe between you two. It's actually adorable.
I really.
I'm a fan.
Oh.
I like personalities. Like that's one of the fun things as well. Is like, with so many card games out, you get kind of a blend, and this is, yell at me comment section, of like you get the blend of like the really personal ones and the ones who like are just the gamers. And like I know what you do in a day. So I appreciate the personable. So I did a little investigating on the game. I tried to trickle it in between all the stuff I had to do. So one of the things that in the last little bit that I've been surprised at is how a lot of the stuff that I thought was not going to be very interesting is actually very opposite what I thought. So I thought dice-slinging, a billion zones, asynchronous. And that means chaos and RNG, complexity, loud, nobody's going to know what's going on. And seeing all of it in action, none of that is really true. Not an ounce of that is true. The phases are actually very well put together. Terms are not very, very complicated. There's a lot of thought process. There's a lot of complexity because the phases are set up in a way where you get to play mind games, which as a netrunner guy, oh, I'm all about the mind games. Have you ever played it? Did you guys ever play Android Netrunner?
I actually have not.
Oh, okay. So it was a living card game by Fantasy Flight. And it was asymmetrical. So not asynchronous, guys, where two people are playing at the same time. Asymmetrical, where both sides have different objectives or they're playing in a slightly different way towards a similar win condition. And the way that it worked is that you had a runner going against a corporation. So you had your hacker, your hero, going after the big, evil, big, bad ivory tower. And the way that it worked, the bluff mechanics were the runner, everything that the runner was doing, everything the hero was doing, everybody knew, public knowledge. Everything that the corp did, which was protecting their agendas, protecting their points, laying down traps, laying down everything, all of that, face down. Nobody gets to see what it is until you hit it, until it is in your face. And that was one of the coolest games, and one of the it is one of my favorite games of all time because of the number of mind games that exist. And the thing I'm captivated with Back Alley Mages is how much of that exists in the early phases. I really do dig that, actually. So I'm checking off more boxes, right? As a gamer of this is a head game kind of game for a little bit.
Oh, you don't even know about traps. Traps exist.
I can only imagine. It already terrifies me, and I love it. I'm such a sucker for mind games. I play like janky, stupid decks that don't work. Like I'm as a Flesh and Blood guy, I play Azalea, and I get that she's bad, but nobody knows how to play against her because nobody plays her. So I'm like, that's my win condition. Is you're just confused. So I like that kind of stuff. Let's talk. I want to chat a little bit about the quality of stuff, because the look you have in the back of the cards, the design is very like Bicycle 52 card. It's very elaborate, very detailed, very beautiful. Show these bad boys off. Let's see what we got. Love that. I see sun and moon.
Yeah, there's wave, there's wood, there's metal for the swords.
So it looks like it's full art, borderless on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm. Full art, borderless.
Let me show you some. I mean, I can show you all sorts of cards. Here you go.
All right. Well, let's do it this. How about we do it this way?
Talk to me.
We have a Kickstarter, so I'm getting booster. The Kickstarter is like booster boxes, or starter decks boxes. Nice. Foils, clearly. So I get there's starter decks in the game. I want to talk about what the actual products are. So if I'm buying into this, there are starter decks. You have booster boxes. Help me out with the booster boxes. Knowing that dice are a thing, what do I get with a booster box?
So as far as your dice go, that's going to come with either your collector's box or you're going to purchase that individually as an add-on. Once you have your full set of dice, okay, that'll be $240 because there are a lot of variants. Yeah, I know. It sounds very daunting. It sounds crazy, right?
Right.
But remember, when you build a deck, you can base your deck based off of either the main color of the die or the pip of the die. So I just give you all the resources, if you buy the collector's box, you could possibly use to build any deck.
Okay, I don't need 240 die. I could just have a combination, and to get both sides of that spectrum, I'm going to need 240 to get anything of anything.
You can build, for the rest of this set, you can use those dice to build any deck you could ever contrive. Ever.
Okay.
In Mages. Now, when you go to a person, right, all you're going to take is your 15 core dice, right? You're not going to have to bring 240 unless you plan on playing multiple decks. Then you will have dice specific to decks.
Right.
And we do have, on our website, we do plan on releasing these really awesome deck boxes that hold one deck and have a compartment for about 15 to 20 dice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you can build up nicely from that.
Yeah.
So that's the Kickstarter stuff.
Oh,
I got tier 1A, 52 custom dice, 3 starter decks, play mats, and then various stretch goals. I want to get dice afterwards. Kickstarter's done.
That's going to be kind of like this, okay?
Okay.
So how it's going to work, you're going to open it up, and you'll actually, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than this one. These are our beta ones, sorry, so excuse me. You're going to open it up. You're going to have your 3 decks, right? 3 different starter decks, okay? And then you're going to have a little compartment for all the dice to play those 3 starter decks, specific to those starter decks. So it would be like the 15 for the House of Passion you see right in my hand. Mind you, these aren't huge dice, so that's another really...
Yeah.
You're not like... They're small, they're compact.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you, post-Kickstarter, what your plans are. Are there plans? Is everything going to be through Kickstarter? Is everything direct? Are you looking to get into local game stores? Like, what's the model after this is successful, which is already successful?
Well, easy.
Everything.
I mean, I know
all of the things. Game stores, we're planning for first edition coming out within,
after about 3 months. So yeah, from the very beginning, it's like, this is now, this always is something we wanted to make our lives. This is our passion. This is like, Kickstarter gave us the opportunity to focus on our passions and dreams, which are making games. Okay? And I am so blessed, and we are so lucky in being able to go to game shops, to demo our games, to send out demos, to go to the conventions. Because up until now, we've been fully funded. We haven't had the luxury of saying, hey, we want to buy 2 tables, here's $400.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was something that we really wanted to do in Dallas.
Okay. Collecticon?
Yeah, we really wanted to go, but we just...
The flight alone was almost $1,000 a ticket, and it's like, we pride ourselves in being fully funded, but now we're at the point where everything is self-funded, and now we're at the point where the game is ready, and we can say, hey, here you go.
I love that. That's the way it should be. I laughed there when you said 2 tables for $400, because that's actually, if you don't know, people out there, that actually was the rate at Origins Game Fair in Columbus to rent 2 tables for 5 days. It was $400. To rent them. You could buy a table, have it Uber Eated over, and throw it away, and it would have been half the cost, if not less, than renting tables. Conventions are expensive, everybody. That's the moral of that story.
With that said, it's like we can now focus on, getting first edition out within 3 months of Kickstarter dropping, and we do have some we won't go.
No. Save some surprises.
Yeah, first edition will be done through our website. We finally have the luxury of now, as we grow, to actually let the websites take the load of us dropping product,
right?
Which is. We didn't have the luxury of before. We had to handle it through Discord because it was such a small amount that we didn't want a bot eating up every single item.
Now, are you looking at like going through distributors at this point, or you have the website, you clearly have the infrastructure to ship even small? Are you looking at like direct distribution? Let's talk some let's do some business talk. Now I'm a local game store owner.
No, we have fulfillment centers. That's very important.
Okay.
Us. And by the way, as far as the entirety, we're going to be handling everything through BackerKit.
Okay.
Okay. So as it is stated on the Kickstarter, so that's just the first tidbit. So all of that information, we will work with our fulfillment centers to verify all those costs, et cetera, et cetera. Those fulfillment centers will handle all of the product and getting those out in a timely
manner, yeah. As timely as BackerKit likes to do things.
Yeah, and et cetera. But we will, as far as domestic, be handling some of it through our warehouse and through our hands.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a direct, like hey, maybe you go through distributors, but if not, we've got you. We've got product. We'll send it to a store that needs it after Kickstarter. I am like post Kickstarter. You want to be in LGSs.
Yes, 100%. That is a dream and a passion of mine.
Cool.
I mean, I would cry if I saw this game played at an LGS. I would literally just cry and walk out, and I'd be like, okay, my life's complete. Goodbye, folks.
So,
Mom, I made
I know, Mom, I've made it. Let's go.
love it. All right, so if you guys don't mind, I want to take a little bit more of your time because I really want to talk about that avenue because that's something that I know there's a lot of games out there that once the Kickstarter is kind of done, it doesn't feel like there's any more to the conversation. You guys have definitely thought much further on. You have that local game store vision. I wanna be let's chat 6 months after Kickstarter. Everybody has their product. Now you're growing in stores. I'm gonna let you live the dream here. Now you're growing in local game stores, right?
Okay.
Go ahead. You gonna stop me, or are we just gonna have fun? Oh, I didn't know if you wanted to like stop me and be like, we don't want to have that conversation now, or if you guys are like, let's go.
No. We can talk about it. Okay, so we already have, as far as what we have planned in the future of Glam Alley Mages, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this to you. When it comes to releasing a new set, okay, they're like, everyone asks, like, when are you going to release the next set? I am giving you 300 plus cards right now to deck.
Yeah, you got time.
With mechanics that are going to blow people's mind when they understand them. Mm-hmm. The amount of time it's going to take for meta to emerge and for things to get broken is going to be significant.
For sure.
So it's going to be at least after first edition, because it's not even going to happen, I don't think, through the Kickstarter, post Kickstarter, because people aren't going to open half of their product, to be honest. It's just facts of life.
Yeah, of course.
So it's going to happen after first edition, which is already now 6 months in advance. So let's go ahead and jump even further. Okay, let's say first edition came out. It's in all of the stores. Meta is emerging. I'm going through all of the cons. I'm traveling to all the local game shops. I'm demoing the game. I'm sending demo kits.
Yep.
I'm doing tournaments because tournaments will be a thing, and I want cash prizes. I want exclusive items. I want those things. I want people to play this game competitively because it is a lot of fun, because you play mind games, because you build an engine, because you roll the dice, so you have that thrill of like...
Yeah, that's always the fun part. Like something that even not knowing all the information, anytime you can have a mechanic that everybody can look at and know what's good or bad regardless of the table, which dice do a great job of, I'm all in. I like it.
I want to see it. Like we want to see it all through the point. I mean, after first edition, then it's, let's say, finally, now a meta emerged. There was something broken in the game, okay? Cool. Do I nerf? Absolutely not. I refuse. I'm going to try my best to never nerf a card. And I'm sure every creator says never nerf, only create solutions. But I will do my best to only create solutions to the problems I may have caused.
Remember this moment, everyone.
Yes.
This line right here.
Yeah, let it go down in history. That's okay. There will be,
solutions. You swallow the spider to catch the fly.
Yeah,
that's the way that I like to see it. Okay, so we've got. So I think it's safe that if I'm a store, I see this afterwards. I don't have to worry about like an expansion suddenly showing up immediately. You're given this time to breathe, right?
Yes.
You say first edition. Help me out. First edition implies that there's an unlimited or like a second edition that's maybe less interesting, or is first edition just literally how you're kind of naming that first set?
Oh no. Wait, I'm sorry. The last part broke up.
Sorry. Sorry.
So
you say first edition. First edition notoriously brings in elements of like extra chase, getting it early, and also implies that there is a second edition or an unlimited version of the same thing coming. Is that the case with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Unlimited will happen, right? It won't be a second edition. It will be and that won't happen until we feel that enough people have an idea of what Glam Alley Mages is. Okay. And that we can now spread this to the next level. We do have testing editions already.
Sure,
and those are things that will get distributed in mass, right? Mm-hmm. Those are things that that people will be able to get into their hands and play. So we do want to leave that collectability in the first edition items and use playtesting items as our vessel of teaching the game.
Okay.
Demo, etc.
Gotcha. So first edition, you said it, collectability. What's the first edition collectability look like? What do I get in first edition that I don't get in unlimited?
That you don't get in unlimited?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know a little bit about how the cards are?
I've seen limited, and even if I saw limited, most people who watch this haven't. So.
Yeah.
Essentially, what's really, really special for me, and I'm not sure exactly how many other TCGs do this, but
Sure.
at the bottom of your card, we have an indication of where every single. I could literally look at a card and tell you the exact time and day I printed that card, and what the.
So you have a timestamp.
It's not a timestamp, but it has specific names. Okay, for example, if I look at, let's just grab, these ones say playtest print.
Sure.
This is playtest print. That's an
So it's like
easy
a
one.
code name for a print run.
Yeah. Booster pack sample. I know this came from the booster packs that we sold on Friday, this last Friday, that we sold out of. Okay, right?
Cool.
I could just look at a card. Let me grab another one. I mean, I could grab 100 cards.
So we had alpha, we have beta, we have playtest.
So when you say first edition, it will literally be the fact that it says first edition print.
Okay.
And then, right? And then after it would say unlimited print.
Okay, so that stamp is going to be the real, that's my sign of collector. Are there going to be like differences in foil types? Like Flesh and Blood has cold foils in first edition and rainbow foils in else. Do you have any differences there?
I am currently very, very happy with the foiling pattern we are going with.
Select foil.
We have, not this one, not anything anyone has seen, because this is just a standard foil, okay? I haven't, now, thank God, thank you, everyone, not even God, thank the backers, you know.
Thanks $160,000. Get to play.
Have the capability of looking through a plethora of designs and saying, hey, what do I want our foiling pattern to be? I love what we're going to do.
Nice.
It is so nice.
Yeah, it's honestly, it is amazing. It is great.
It doesn't take away from the art, but it is different, okay? It's not, I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, I could...
You do whatever you want to do. Like I'm still on the backs of your cards look gorgeous. So you're padding the bill at this point. Like you could just expand.
You can't see it that well. You can't see it that well, unfortunately. But I don't know if you can see.
It's like a glass kind of like a. You ever see like faux textures in painting? Like a stone kind of texture. Done in foil. Yeah. I see what it is. I can see what it is.
This isn't my card. This is a reference card that was sent to us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So look, you can kind of, I don't know if you can
Okay, yeah. That top corner, the red corner, I can see exactly. Yeah, that reminds me of like faux patterns and painting on walls, which creates a really cool kind of stone texture.
But you can look here when they do it for the selective. And
the spot foiling stuff. I like it.
It is so subtle, but it has little touches within it itself. So it's
the best.
It's not like I have these giant lines going through the card, or I have giant circles and dots or sparkles. It is very subtle.
It's behind the image.
Every angle you look, and I'm really happy with it. So for you to ask me like, do I want to throw it away right now? I'm like, no.
I didn't say throw it away, but
you know, I'm joking. You know what I mean. I'm teasing you.
Now we're talking, now it's like there's the trifecta, right? There's the player, collector, investor, trifecta of card game fans. So like that's the player. Collector is, the first edition, that fun, spicy stuff. I have not seen that foiling before. I'd be very excited to see that on cards.
Oh, you know how it's gonna look with
cards. It's gonna be.
And here's a big thing for us also. Keep it subtle. So let me show you this card. Like a card like this, right?
Add texture depending on where you look.
You just hit those lights on the back. You just hit those lights on the back or the lights in the houses, right? And it just gives it a little bit more depth. Yeah. I'm not trying to do like a full hollow card for every card, And I don't know if you know this, all cards that you get in the Kickstarter edition will have this selective foiling.
Oh wow. Okay.
All cards from common. So you're gonna say, what are the chases? Oh, there's a list, and
I can only imagine.
You can look at our FAQ. We have it there. We have. I mean, I don't even know.
I'll let them do. You guys go look at the Kickstarter, look at the FAQs, and check out all the cool stuff. I do have a question though, because the conjures, right?
Yes.
You have the 3 conjures, and the question with the conjures, are those going to be in a similar treatment? Because I immediately have to question, you can't sleeve them with a full color back like what a normal sleeve would be, because I need to see the back of the card.
Yeah, you have to do your conjures in clear sleeves.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, you have to be able to see it.
Yeah, it was, so why we even went this route. So when I first built, please, very much so. Don't hit me. When we created the game, okay, we wanted the individual to feel like they were casting magic. Like it was about them and not about a bunch of monsters you're summoning.
Right. Yeah, I say there's only 3, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so all these cards are spells that you're using. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to just say, hey, there are some conjures, because conjuration is a school of magic, right?
Yes.
So we wanted to say, hey, you could still invest in conjuration if that's the kind of magic you like to play with. We didn't want to take away monsters entirely. So that was kind of our solution as to where they're not in your deck, but you still feel like you have the ability to control them and use them. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, editing Joe, real quick. We had to take a little bit of a break for reasons that are completely my fault. So finishing a couple things, and then so I want to chat with you guys a little bit about organized play, because you mentioned it a couple times, and I want to chat a little bit about what, if I'm a local game store, now I'm a local game store, what am I putting on my shelf? Because you got a lot of cards, you got a lot of dice, we've got first editions, we've got unlimiteds, you've got playmat, there's a lot. I'm just curious, like, what is my investment if I really want to do the true dream? Because the true dream is not to just live off of Kickstarter for the rest of your life. It's to be in game stores. And it's to do thousands and $15,000, $20,000, $250,000 pro tour circuits and whatnot. So as the local game store, that's where we come in. So I want to know what that would be like. Also, I don't own a local game store. So anyway, organized play. What's the vision for organized play? Are there different formats? Curious what you got. Let's just start from the beginning. What you got?
Okay, so we have had our first tournament. Now, as far as competitive gameplay goes, I'm still warming everybody up to getting used to the gameplay of the game itself, the flow, the dynamic, the mechanics, the intricacies. So we had our first tournament. Now, it was really a giant warm-up, so everybody kind of felt, okay, this is how it's going to go when we do this. And now that was through TTS.
We're also limited. We only had 8 people, just so that we could be, the 2 of us could be very present and watching and helping where necessary, because some of the people who participated were still kind of grasping the game.
Yeah.
This is a couple weeks back now, maybe 2 months or so.
Yeah. And that's good. You should be. Like, there's a lot of pride to be taken if you're a creator, news to you creators, of being engaged in those first couple of tournaments and being present, being there. It's great.
Oh, I hope to always be there. You know, I hope to always be, as much as I can, be a part of everything that I can. And of course, there will come a point when you grow so much where you can't, you know.
Yeah, I hope that there are too many tournaments for you to be at, sir.
I would be stoked. You have no idea. That would be my dream and my life come true.
We're still at the phase where, you know, I'm on Discord, I'm scrolling, I'm looking at what's going on, replying to messages, and I see some people hop into the voice chat. I'm like, oh, somebody's playing. Let's see what's going on.
I do that too. It feels kind of weird. Like, I almost feel like I'm like the boss has walked in and now everyone's observing. I'm like, maybe he works for the company. Maybe we don't want to. It's not that way. I'm weird.
Yeah, so the next tournament we're hoping is going to be either the end of this month or early next month, and we'll be doing some sort of cash prize for that one. We're just going to give some people some time to warm up. Nothing crazy. I mean, mind you, we haven't had, you know, nothing's been delivered financially on our end. So it's still going to be just money that we're putting up in order to kind of like incentive. Like, here you go. Like, it may not be much, but here's like a $50 gift card, $100 Visa gift card, like for the first prize winner. We call them the Master Mage, right? So then they also
Master
get
Mages.
that
Got it.
Yeah, they also get that title in the Discord. Although,
see, that's where the real pride's at. Like Master Mage in Discord.
Yeah. No,
I like
awesome.
that. I like that stuff. So I'm gonna put on my marketing hat for a sec. For anyone who's gotten this far, I think one of the things I've learned that I love, especially the indie card games get to do, and it's something I've talked to a few about, is instead of like working for Genesis, we had so many promos. It's just promo. And that kind of gets a little old after a while. So like being able to sell experiences and pride things like a title that only you get, I'd love to see more companies do that kind of stuff. Think outside the box, you guys.
Yeah, we've already kind of accepted that we're going to try. We've been trying like one a month. There'll be 12 Master Mages a year, and then we reset the title on our Discord. When it's still small, there will be a point in time where we will have to do like one annual big tournament. And
like a Master Mages tournament.
Exactly. Oh yeah, you already know. You already feel it. You already feel it.
I got ideas. I'm there.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, and the winner of that will be the Master Mage for that year. But
we have also with that, we have a very like fun BAM points system that works with that. So within the tournament, there were 4 matches, 2 like 1-on-1, and then the winners of that round went to the next. So there were 3 rounds, and for each match or each game that you won, you would get 2 points. And each of them started with 2. So we built up this like BAM points thing, and we had created what we call the merchant, which is like our little Back Alley Mages point store. And you could then redeem those points for
alphas.
That's smart.
Yeah, so
that's really smart. That's you've built a prize wall. You've built a loyalty program and prize wall.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that also with our next tournament. It's like even if you lose, you get 2 just for saying you want to play.
Yeah.
Just being there.
Nice.
And then as you progress through, you'll earn more and more points. And there's another thing that you get to say, and these are like, when I say beta sample, I'm talking 1 print run of all the starter decks.
Right.
When I say alphas, we only did 2 print runs of the starter decks. So that's under that's under 600 cards for the alphas, under 300 cards for the beta. Each one of those cards is like 1 of 3 or 1 of 6.
Yeah. We're not even sitting with many alphas now because we had so many amazing giveaways.
And there's nothing wrong with promos. We didn't go that route. You don't see a bunch of BAM promos. You don't see a bunch of This is actually our promo sample packs were the first promos we sold, and we just sold them 3 days ago now, Friday. It was like I said. We did sell one other product.
Okay.
It was our beta decks. And there were only 80 beta decks available to the public. Like I said, we possibly shot ourselves in the foot by not selling a bunch of stuff. But for us, that was a matter of we built our dream.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it right.
Yeah, proof of concepts are good as well. I want to revisit the chase element of that and get your philosophy on that. But let's wrap up the organized play stuff. You said the matches are around like 30. They can take as little as 10 minutes, and sometimes they're up higher. Yes. If I remember right, you also I think said like you had a 20 life per and a 30 life for more competitive.
Yes.
So are these best of 1 or best of 3?
In the actual tournaments, they're one match, you move on or done. So we're not at this point in time. I'm not trying to take everybody's day. I'm not trying to take everybody's day in a tournament because we're so small, and I don't have the possibility of saying, hey, if you stick around all day, you could win $1,000. Because that's much more of it.
Probably awesome,
right?
And maybe we'll get there, but we're just not there yet.
So I can't. Although we probably have a loyal enough following.
Yeah, there's probably a good few
who would say like, let's spend a whole day. I don't. Just like I'm not asking you to spend $100 every month on promos, I'm not asking you to spend an entire day, playing BAM.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Like a local game store does not want to host one single tournament of 8 people for a day. They want to rotate those people out anyway. So it's better that way.
But I would imagine if the prize pool is going to be anything over $10,000, oh, get ready. You're doing a best of 3 each time. It's only fair that way.
So that leads to questions about, and actually, this is a question I should have asked at the very damn beginning. Everything is face down, but you also talked about, like, if you know your opponent's deck. Are there any cues from everything face down that might help you know what the opponent's deck is?
The only thing that gives anything away about your opponent's deck are their conjures.
I thought so.
And also, imagine if I see you bring... So if I was a smart, competitive player, I would bring a sack of dice, and I would say, here's my dice pool. Good luck trying to guess what I'm playing. But if I come up to you and I have 15 dice and they're all pink, you're going to be like, you're playing passion.
Right.
You get what I mean? So that's where, or I would have a covered bag. Now, mind you, here's where it gets kind of tricky. After your first match, everyone's going to know what deck you're playing. They won't know all your cards.
No,
they won't know the
right.
Now, we could do one of two things there. We can have people come in and have to post decks and side decks, right, that they can trade in and out of. Or we can say, hey, this is the way it is. Let's see how long you could hide what you have. Let's see how far you can get without people knowing what tricks you have up your sleeve.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How would sideboard work? It has to be a best of 3, or do you envision being able to sideboard in between games? What's the sideboard here?
Here's where I've thought about this quite a bit, and here's where I feel like you already bring your sideboard. When you bring in your side transmutations, right? Those cards that are black and white, right?
Okay.
Those cards that are black and white that you have on the side. You can have up to 10 of them. And as you play a match, so how you gain them is nice and easy. You have cards that give you mana. So we're still mages here. We still have mana, okay? But it's not the same where your dice is, is mana, so to speak. You roll it. You roll your die. You would set a spell like normal, and then that spell gains you mana.
Sorry, the dogs. I'm going to yell real quick. Keep going. Sorry. I'm protecting my furniture. That's Porter, by the way. And that's Hazel.
Oh, hi.
Anyway, all right. So you've got the transmutations.
Yeah, and precisely. And you could use those as your kind of side deck. So if I know you're playing something that may counter me, I could add these cards into my deck.
Okay.
While we're playing, dynamically.
Okay. That's interesting. So it's almost like kind of tricks up your sleeve kind of pool that just shows up with you, and you can kind of use them as you feel out what the game is. Like, this would be useful, and I happen to have access to this thing.
Yeah, they have a little bit more defense than I was anticipating. Let me grab some that do damage. Oh, they have a little bit more attack than I was assuming. But so far, I'll tell you, draw power is really important in this game.
I can bet.
Although you discard, there are spells that let you draw. So you could draw mid-phases, and this is where you're saying, reaction. I could draw mid-phase, and as long as I'm still in that phase, I can play cards in that phase or after. I can still set from hand as long as I have available resources.
That makes sense, yeah. You can kind of see... Because, you're both going at the same time, so I was like, I didn't say I was done. Maybe I'm just slower. Maybe I'm thinking...
No, yeah, well, everything resolves, right, on the dime. So everything's considered an instant in Back Alley Mages.
Okay.
You're a spell. And that's where reaction also comes in. Everything's an instant. So the top of the pile always resolves first.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so there's no, it's not like Magic where you kind of have like...
I can reorder wherever I want, however I want. That's done in the stack, and then the stack goes, but you've made your choices.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so we've got play to win. You've got a little bit kind of a sideboard element that sneaks in. Matches like 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how things go. I'm assuming you have maybe things like organized play kits that you're either working on. You've got I know you've got the prize wall through you. Is there anything for the local game store to be able to offer as well? Is that something in the cards?
There is so like a Friday Night Magic. We would
sorts. Like, a kit of maybe some specific promos. Flesh and Blood does like play mats and promos. Wow, L's and R's are hard today.
Well, demo kits are definitely on our timeline. And with demo kits would come a organized tournament kit.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
You know what I mean? That that is in the near future. We're hoping, you know, it's our vision just yesterday, you know, our vision just came to life.
Right.
It was like, yeah, you know, up until now, this was like, if only.
Yeah, right.
And like, hope so.
Like, hope we have the funds to do this. And yesterday, imagine, like, I cried in that video, bro, like a baby. Like,
I bet.
I was like,
it was extremely humbling.
It was like, now I can start thinking of these things. Now I can start executing these things. It's not a dream anymore. It needs to go down in paper on how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it's only been a day, and we're working hard.
You got a lot of work to do.
Oh, I promise you. And we're hard workers. We are hard workers. Like, we are ready to go. Like, let's do this.
And here I'm making you drink in the middle of a Monday. Terrible I am. Just like, hey, you're gonna get on my channel and you're gonna drink a beer or drink a seltzer.
It was, you know. We're big boys and girls, you know.
You'll be okay.
We
can handle it.
I finished mine like ages ago. I'm saving the next one for the Avs game.
Oh yeah.
So go Avalanche. Last piece I want to talk about before I jump. Actually, man, I just keep finding fun things. Quick philosophy on chase and promo for you guys. That's such a spicy, crazy topic. You guys mentioned that you guys are not very big and you guys did not go promo hectic to start, which is very cool. And I know you're kind of leveraging, I call it an appreciation of history at this point. Like when you've got like the old demo kits and the betas and whatnot, but it doesn't sound like you created promos just so you can have promos to spice up. What is your philosophy on chase and promo?
Okay, so here's another huge philosophy for us. Okay. We are not going to make game-breaking cards and sell them. Number one.
Okay.
So promos will not be individual, unique cards that are 1 out of 100 that you're going to bring to a tournament and smack down with.
Okay.
Heck no. I'm not about that. Any promo you see through Back Alley Mages, from the beginning until the end of time, is going to be an alternate art card. Okay?
Nice. Oh, perfect.
In fact, if you look at our Instagram, and I'll post another picture, we worked with Creative Hollow, okay, to make an alternate art card already of a card that is very good in the Passion deck, and that we're going to be giving away for free to playtesters, to physical playtesters. We're sending them out kits to just play at no expense to them other than shipping it to somebody else when they're done. Yeah. On top of that, they get this awesome, beautiful card. That is how we do promos and alternate art card. We also have another alternate art card coming in, and it will still be a chase. And that's where our biggest chase cards are going to be those alternate art cards that are 1 of 100, but don't take away from the game mechanically.
No, they can still be played and it's still balanced.
We also have digitally signed artist cards, full art cards. You could even, in your box toppers, you can get that history. You can get those alphas. You can get those betas. You can get these awesome things that have come up in our, that have made us what we are today, what you see today.
Yeah. I'm gonna sneak ours in because that's what Genesis does, and it's great. I love it. I think that's the right way. Honestly, don't price anybody out. Rarity though, I see lesser, improved, greater, level 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Is that 9 different rarities, or do you just have 3?
Yes.
Huh?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But there's the 3 main archetypes of rarity, right? You just said lesser, greater. Lesser, improved, greater. But then even under that, we do have pull rates. Okay, and it actually, you can look at the bottom left and you'll see a symbol, or you can just look at our Mint catalog and it will literally tell you exactly is it a G3, is it an L1, is it an L2, is it an I3.
It reminds me of the old, do you ever, I don't know how old you guys are, did you guys ever play the old Star Wars CCG? Any of the old Decipher games that had Rare 1, Rare 2?
No.
Oh, man.
Like that?
Like, it was, I never really thought how much I cared about it until now now you just get into secrets and ultras and whatever. But that's what that reminds me of. So, like, a G3 is, like, spicy, or does level 1, level 2, level 3 even matter for rarity?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, let me show you actually. Okay, so I can tell you right now how a pack of 15 will open. Okay? You pop up in a pack. You're guaranteed one transmutation, one black and white card of any rarity. Okay? It's randomized. When I talk to the manufacturer, I just say, make sure there's one of these black and white cards in there. You are guaranteed one. Do I have any in front of me? Yes. You're guaranteed one conjure of any rarity. Okay? You'll always know the rarity as long as it has those little circles and signets based off of, right, the emblem or the embroiderment. So that's going to be a bronze, okay? And then you can look at something. It doesn't matter. That's nuances, okay? So you got one conjure, one black and white card of any rarity, and then you have one guaranteed G rarity card in a pack for spells, okay? So like a god pack is going to be three graders, graders, right? Like that's like you pulled a damn good pack. As far as G3 spells go, they will always be landscape. The rarest of the rare cards are going to be landscape, okay?
Got it. That's cool. So I like that. That's pretty neat. Does this lend itself to, like, can you do drafts and seals? Like, everything's interchangeable. The only thing you'd have to bring is a ton of dice, but can you do those formats? I'm just curious.
You could definitely, absolutely. Because technically, right, with a 30-card deck, you could probably, if you really wanted to be crazy, pull 3 packs and build a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta have the dice. So that was completely off topic. It was just like, you can limit it. You can totally limit this. So it's just... Go ahead.
Oh, no. You're good. The only game format I thought about was like EDH. Because you can't really do that, or a commander, sorry. You can't really do a commander type format with a 100-card deck, each card different, because you would need literally all your... It's just too hard.
You need an entire collection.
It would be impossible. And it's a fact. I couldn't do something like that. But there are 2v2 formats. There's a really cool 3v3 format. It's called Emperor. I don't know if you're familiar with like a sort of Emperor type in Magic the Gathering. You essentially have 3 people on each side. The flanks can attack, and the center is all support.
Oh, God. I forgot what that used to be called. I'm familiar with the format. I thought it was called something different.
Yeah, it's super fun in this game. It's very fun, because your center guy or girl is manipulating everything, right? And they're just like the manipulation, corruption, insanity. They're doing like these broader ideas, and they're setting up the flanks to do the most damage or protect the flanks.
So you literally have like a party. It's a D&D party at this point.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm actually playing a 2v2 later on tonight, so I'm looking forward to it. 2v2s, you could do 2 formats. You could do a 2-headed dragon or 2-headed giant or whatever you want to call it, right? So we share a health pool, or you could do it 2 separate matches, and when you knock out the person in front of you, you could 2v1 the last person. You could do either format. Nice.
No, it sounds fun. There's still a billion things I'm sure you can do, but I want to cap on one final thing, and then we're going to do a lightning round, all right? Just as we got a little bit. These are going to be sectioned out, by the way. I'm going to have little chapters.
I'm not stressed.
So everyone can find out. I just know these they're long videos, but they're fun. They're fun. Yeah, they're the end. That's all I got. They're fun. I want to talk about product specifically, because right now I'm still looking at there's a lot of really cool things going on, but I'm also looking at price to entry for something like this, because I got to buy a lot of different dice and I've got to buy a deck. Starter decks? I think you said they have a deck and dice, right?
Yes. So and this is where we kind of we were up in the air about 1A, 1B, 1C. It was like, okay, in order to get the full starter deck experience, go with 1C. You'll get all 6 of the starter decks, right? There'll be 2 different boxes. You'll essentially get 1A and 1B. Okay.
Yes.
So you'll get 2 boxes. They'll have 3 starter decks inside of them. They'll have all the dice, right? So you'll get... There you go. Bam. You'll have 2 of these. It'll have the paper mats. You'll be able to whip it out and play the starter decks.
Yeah, and you have 119 dice instead of the 240, which is the anything and everything bundle.
Yeah, I'm seeing on the Kickstarter that 1A and 1B are literally just condensed to make one set.
Yes, exactly. But we really felt it was important to have something sub 50 for somebody who doesn't want to potentially throw down $80 to $100 just to play a game. You know, because remember, at the end of the day, I'm a board gamer, and I know even for 40, that's expensive. You know, as far as in the board game realm.
Oh God, yeah.
So 3 decks, 3 houses, 3 decks being in one box with the dice you need. You can switch it around a little bit. You know, you play Passion, I play Vigilance. Oh, today I want to play Tricks, and you can just mix it around a bit. You get a feel for the game. Yeah.
So then moving up, if you want to be a little bit more of a hardcore player and you see yourself deck building in the future, then you have the starter kit, okay? Now what's really cool already, I'm going to tell you, the collector's box. Now what's really cool already is we met our stretch goal where everybody gets 3 booster packs, separate. They're not in a, so they'll be separate booster packs. So they'll already be able to smack a booster pack open and deck build. Because remember, deck building's very free in this game. So even if I give you a random card, you may be like, hey, I can use this card.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
to jump onto that, just to even to take that to the tier 1 and tier 2, if you're considering, like, I don't want to invest too much into this, even if I got tier 1A, because it's free flowing, I've got 3 starter decks that I should be able to still mix and match, plus all the dice, right?
Happens all the time.
Yeah. So you're literally getting everything you need in a collection to start off for sub 50, which is great.
Perfect portals.
I literally have people who took those 6 decks and they're like messaging me all the time, like, oh, I made 2 more decks. I made 3 more decks. I made a Passion Decay deck. I made a Tricks and Vigilance deck. And you're more than welcome to do that. And they're doing that even with the 100 and whatever dice, right?
Right.
They're doing it with that. So the only thing that really helps when you get the more dice is you're able to be more specific with what dice you're bringing with you.
Yeah, you can be a little bit more balanced. You know, I can balance based on what I realistically have.
Yes, exactly. So with the collector's box, what's really important is you get all 240 dice. And with the dice solution, now you have to understand how expensive it is to manufacture 240 custom dice with custom pips. Right. Okay. Because we are trying to make this game accessible to those who are colorblind. So we want those pips to be shapes as opposed to just. And I'm not talking like flat dice with some stamp on it. No, I'm talking
like embossed or engraved, like in proper pips. But you can, if that's not an issue, somebody could still get a bunch of different colors as long as they can kind of match that color combination.
Exactly.
If they've got them, they're open to it.
Technically, you could play this game with any 15 dice you want, as long as you understand and your opponent understands what each of those dice represent, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
But that people won't realize that until the future. You could take a square and write decay and water on it, and it'll always be a black die with blue pips if you say it is. Right. You get what I mean? In theory.
Yeah. Have you guys thought about local game store product yet? Have you gotten to that point? I'm just curious.
Well, we have tier. So our tier, it's the $8.99 tier, is what I would recommend for any local game shop if they wanted to start. And it is very reasonably priced. You're getting 6 booster boxes, so they could sell single packs if that's what they wanted to. They get 12 starter decks. So you could have up to 6 people playing at the same time, just trying out the starter decks if they wanted to. Go ahead.
Does the starter decks, one deck, one box, it comes with the dice, right?
Yeah, the starter decks themselves they would be getting are actually, so it's different than the collector's box. It's going to be one of these with 3 decks and the dice to play those decks on the inside. So you're going to get 3 sets, right, of each one? I'm sorry, or 2 sets. My math's terrible. So you tell me, I think it's 2 times each one. So I think they get a total of 4, right? Which would be the 12 decks. Got it. Right? We're not here to do math.
Yeah, no. If we roll dice, we read the numbers. This is a counting channel, and we drink. Don't make me do math.
That is different than the collector's box, which will come with 6 individually packaged decks. Okay.
Yeah, they come in a box. All 6.
Okay, I was going to ask, like, how do I differentiate one box from another? Because the box you have on top does not show me who. Ah.
It'll stay on the top.
Oh,
of
that's
each
so cool. Because you have a bookshelf.
So yeah, when they come up, they'll be sitting all along this box, and you'll be able to say, "Oh, I want to play Decay," and you'll take out Decay.
Yes.
And then you're going to have your dice solution on the end. You'll be able to open it up. It'll pop open, and you'll have all your dice kind of organized in a nice little way.
You should make promo bookends. I'm just telling you. Because you have, because those are books. They look like books when you stand them up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just have little Back Alley Mages bookends.
Yeah.
Like little fold-outs. Last question, though. I'm still going to hit the dice thing. The Seeker, $8.96, we'll just say it's an LGS starter kit. I get 2 sets of 240 dice. Do you have a plan to sell the dice separately?
Yeah, we already do. You could buy actually in 2 ways. I'm going to add the other add-on now that we broke 80,000. That was our minimum to meet in order to start manufacturing those custom pip dice. Mm-hmm. And that was like, when everyone asked me, like, what's your, 35,000 is your manufacturing goal. What's your big goal? 80,000 so we could do those custom pip dice. It's very expensive.
Yeah,
like, no one really understands how expensive
it's not the dice that we're building, buying essentially. It's the molds to make them that's the expensive.
It's very expensive. So you can buy for 33, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going based off my memory. You could buy just the dice that are color coded. So kind of like
little pips.
So kind of like this, where it's just going to be pink and green. Sure. Now, if you're colorblind, it's going to be very hard to see this.
Right, it'll be gray.
So then for 55, you could buy the dice that are all symbolized.
Do you know, are you going to translate that into an LGS SKU at some point where local game stores can get like a box that has 12 packs of 15 dice, or are you guys not there yet?
I guess that's somewhere we haven't crossed, but it would be as simple as, hey, as a local game shop, how many sets of 240 would you like?
Okay, they can divvy up as they want.
Yeah, and not saying okay, or even more so, there's always the start. Well, yeah, it would be as simple as that. They could even sell these individually if they would like. We could just give them jars, not jars, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, for you, they're gonna come in like bags, like take them, go, put them in a treasure chest.
And at that point, there will be a point where this isn't going to cost us an arm and a leg. It's the manufacturing of the master die with symbols that is so expensive. So it's an upfront initial cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So down the line, don't expect these to be like an arm and a leg each.
Because it's just for now.
It's it's the whole way that medicine works. The second pill costs 4 cents. The first one costs $20 million.
Yeah.
it's that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's recap stuff. So we've got the Kickstarter, $160,000 right now, and climbing. It's still 160. But the stretch goals that you had, we've got. I'm just gonna read them off because it's fun, if I can get there. So you get the die. So that's what you've already hit the die, which is awesome.
Yeah.
All pledges get a Kickstarter exclusive artist digitally signed card art, which is a sea turtle, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So we have an artist. His name is Chris Al. He has done 150 of the set's artwork.
Woo, buddy.
Yeah. He is, I can show you some of his cards. You're for sure going to pull his cards. Like, it's just undoubted. And
nice.
Yeah, he's a really talented artist. So he made us a sea turtle with
with the BAM
logo. And we asked our community, we said, hey, what do you want to name this guy? And they chose
David wanted to see it. I said, no, this guy, he's far too majestic looking. He needs another name. So we put it up on Discord and we said, okay, what's his name going to be? The one with the most emotes is going to be the name. And so it's Gambari. So
that's it's kind of a cool little gift to the community, right? They chose the name. And it's digitally signed. So that's also very awesome by the artist himself.
That's very cool. I like that. So, since he's such a big artist, give him a shout out. How do we find? Is he on Instagram?
You can find him on our Discord.
Okay.
He did not have an Instagram. I'm trying to get him to make one. I think he might have finally, but his Discord name is going to be Owl. He'll be on our Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, Owl.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Owl. Chris. You know.
His name is Chris Owl, is his artist name, and that's what you'll see on our cards. But on Discord, he goes by Owl.
And he's as invested in this project, or this project is as much his ours.
With over 100 cards, I would hope so. So, all right, so go find Chris, and if he doesn't have an Instagram yet, go yell at him. And there
He
you go.
doesn't. Yeah.
Also, everybody's getting 3 Kickstarter edition packs already. That's a thing. And then serialized collector boxes with gold stamp and foiling, which I think you mentioned. I assume it's spot foiling, like on the backs of those, right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing stamp foiling on on the majority of them. I'm trying to talk to my manufacturer about getting our whole logo foil stamped on the boxes, so it would be literally just beauty and shine when you looked at it, and it would have the indent, and it would be so that's the goal.
Right.
Okay.
For just so I understand, the logo just the BAM, or I see like you've got one that has kind of like the circle with the suns and moons also.
Yes.
Is that your logo?
Yeah. Yes, that's our technical logo.
That's your technical logo. Okay. Got it. Okay. Cool. So everybody gets right now serialized collector boxes. You guys are real close to everybody getting a digitally signed full art card of an owl. So add to it. Get a turtle and an owl. And then when you hit $200,000, everybody's getting tattoos and tokens.
Yeah. We're getting tattoos. You guys get tokens.
You're getting tattoos. Oh, creators get BAM tattoos. And then everybody else gets an exclusive token.
Yeah, and those tokens you'll be able to redeem so we have 2 ways you could redeem it. We're going to work out the online shop redeem for the first set of redeeming, and then we're also working out an in-person redeem where at all the events we go to, we'll go ahead and have a side little package for those who did support us in the Kickstarter. We'll go ahead and we'll verify those tokens, and they'll get a nice little gift as a big thank you.
I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Bunch of illustrators. I see you 2 creators. Got 1, and then this looks like, let me quick math this, 9, 27, 20, 28 other illustrators and artists.
Yeah. Remember, we've been working on this for a while.
And we wanted to obviously give credit to everyone. If we give it to one, you give it to
if we tried you out as an artist and you gave us one and it's in our game, we appreciate your hard work and we want to say thank you. It's not like we're going to give credit to every single person that contributed artistically, because you have to respect your artists because they work so hard and they put their soul into every piece. It's only fair.
Oh yeah, it's glorious. I've become such a sucker for artwork. It's another one of those tricks that I love doing for running events. Like if I'm just running a community event for any game, like I did it for Netrunner, I did it for Flesh and Blood. I'm gonna geek out for a sec. I know this is, but if anything, it's inspiring, and I just completely ruined my camera. So hold on. It's what I do. And we're back.
Yep.
So I'm doing this more because this is also just, again, if a creator's watching this all the way through, this is just a really creative idea. I love using art and doing creative art as promotional things, especially if I'm not a part of most of these companies. I'm just a fan, so I don't get access to certain things. But if you get the ability to, so this is for Flesh and Blood. This is Mark Poole. I got this yesterday actually. So it's signed by legendary Magic the Gathering artist Mark Poole, for starters.
Wow.
But I do an event every year called the Coaxing. So I actually take over a brewery and we play cards all day. Like I do a tournament at the brewery, and then there's a theme to it that like you get free drinks, you get things based on the brewery. So
who is that?
So he did a custom sketch for me.
Wow, that is so
Of it as well, of Coaxing 2222 winner. So that's one of the, I love leveraging artists, and I think that you guys are so on that it is so important to appreciate and respect the artist, because like when you get into that arsenal of just like the ones everybody knows and loves, it inspires community members to be like, how do I get them, and like show them off more and use them as use it as prize support, and You guys get the benefit of some really creative things. It's one of my favorite ways to do prize support. I had to show it off just because we were talking about artists and how amazing they are.
It's awesome.
That extra element is just fun. So, all right, last thing, it's a lightning round. Lightning round time, and it's going to be like the last 5-10 minutes. And these are just going to be just some quick, down and dirty, just your thoughts, your vision, your goals. If somebody skips all the way to this section, they're going to get what they need to know.
Okay.
So, question number 1, and I'm not going to use the timer yet. Question 1. In a couple sentences, when you started this, and if it's changed now, fine. What was your actual vision with this game?
It's definitely changed.
I think...
Definitely. All right, if it changed, what was it at the beginning, and what is it now? And we'll say now, if it's changed even since the Kickstarter. What was it before? What did you want to do when you first started this?
Play a game with a group of friends.
Yeah, ultimately that was the first and most important thing, is we just wanted to create something that was super fun, that we could play with friends. Initially, I mean, some people have watched some of our lives. We've shown off what our game started as, what BAM started as, and it looks visually very different. We came from, our love of board games, and so this BAM sort of started as this tabletop board game kind of vibe. Very comic style, very colorful, very, very minimal art. And, we were enjoying the mechanics of it, which are still very much present in what BAM is now. But we knew how much the art was lacking. It was like, this isn't, what is going to draw people in? There's none of that.
So when you started this, you really were just like, we just have an idea we want to play with friends. Were you actually at we want to turn this into what it is now? Were you there yet?
It was a very distant, like, this could be a thing. Like, if we create this and do this right, we could put it out there for the community to see. But initially it was like, okay, let's just try create this and see what we come up with, and see if it's fun, see if we like it, and if our friends like it, and then go from there.
Was there a moment that you knew you were onto something?
I think particularly when we started moving towards this vision, what we have right now, we were like, we really love this, and we kept getting so much positive feedback from everyone who saw it and played it. They were saying it's a good game, it's visually appealing.
Mm-hmm. Every time we
played it, okay, we've got something here.
Every time we played it with somebody, they were like, I want to play more. And you'd literally message us like, hey, let's play again. And it was like, okay, let's keep developing it then.
Love it.
Let's keep...
So the vision then was, we just want something to play with your friends. What's the vision now?
I want to...
Oh, big things.
Really bring together. Really, honest to God.
We want people to play our game, see people playing our game, enjoying the game.
Laugh, be stressed, have fun. And I think you'll get that vibe from our Discord, that it's all about the community.
Yeah.
It's about... I mean, hop in. You'll see. Somebody will talk to you, and if you just say, hey, they'll be like, hey. It's... Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
It's all about...
I'm pretty sure I'm in your Discord. Together. I'm fairly certain I'm in your Discord.
Are you?
I am in your Discord. I am in fact in your Discord. I'm already there. Yeah. All right. Keeping it going. And I had a whole direction of where the heck I was going to go with this. Oh, here it is. I knew where I was going. I knew where I was going to end up. If you were to say, if you like this, and this, I'm going to give you 4 words. If you like these 4 things, you're going to like Glam Alley Mages. What are your 4 words?
Okay. If you like rolling... No. If you like rolling dice...
Okay.
I would say is a big one. If you like planning and strategy.
Okay.
If you like...
I don't know. It's good.
I mean, to make this easier feel free to like link up other games. If it's like, if you like this game, this will resonate. Like just anything that, again, I'm at your table. I'm giving you 4 groups.
Yeah. If you love if you love the art you see, and we have a wide range of art. If you like the art you see, if you like a fantasy world where you are a mage, and you're slinging spells and you feel like you're using spells, you will like this game. If you like fast-paced games, you will enjoy this game. And then I'm going to say, if you don't like waiting long periods of time to do things,
Waiting for
That's a good one. That's a good niche. I like that. Spin my question on its head.
If you like to see your whole deck, play this game. And yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there's many, but I gave you 4, but there'll be 4 in there somewhere. Guys, find your 4. I'll let you pick which 4 matter.
Pick and choose.
Let's do one more that's a little bit trickier. Now I'm a local game store owner. Now you've got 4 words. What makes me want to bring the game into the store?
Affordable? No.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the right... I think for a local game store owner, it's going to be the same thing, but on a bigger spectrum.
It's going to be, this game is it. You want it in your store.
I think...
I'm too straightforward.
Yeah, I think, but that's such a weird, I would almost explain it the same exact way. But I would, if it came down to, hey, there's collectability here. Hey, there's value here.
There we go.
Hey, there's interest here. Mm-hmm. Sure, I can do that, but those are things you really need to show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I need to show you. I need to say, hey, look at our community. Look at how much they want to play. Hey,
look at our
look at our
stuff like that. That's like our community wants to play. They are invested in the playing of this game. That's like when I'm thinking about it. Like that's what resonates with me.
I can show you the market, like our market. Like, hey, here's a card that sold for X amount of dollars. Like, I can say like, hey, these things are retaining value or they're building in value insanely, mind you. Like. And I think there's a lot of investors who do see that, or, just collectors who do see that in these cards. Mm-hmm. And that's more of a thing I show. Like, here you go. Like, you want to see? Here it is, right here.
Okay.
So, yeah, personally.
Those are always such tricky conversations, but that's why I'm like, I'm going to do it now. This is what I bring. Yeah. Your favorite class? I want you to be fans of the game for a sec. What are your favorites?
Okay. Go ahead.
What are your favorite schools?
Your favorite card?
This is probably my favorite card. She's she's so cool. Oof. I love her so much.
Oh wait, let's take it out of this thing.
A huge love reputations, but this I don't know. This card is just one of my absolute favorites. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's more her style. I'm going to have to say, if we're talking cards,
this guy is freaking.
This is an awesome card right here.
I really do like the black and whites. Yes, I think that's a pretty neat touch.
Especially with the holo, they're just so shiny.
And then, if I had to choose a House of Magic, it's the House of Tricks.
House of Tricks? I'm already a fan. Like that's my jam. What about you, Jenna?
You like Wisdom or Tricks and stuff. You would actually love Tricks. Already talking to you, I think you would really enjoy Tricks. There are traps, but there's still a fair amount of deviousness beyond that.
Like, Jenna, what's your favorite?
I kind of tend towards passion. I like to play the whole I'm gonna kill you and you're gonna die really fast kind of vibe. But I do enjoy, I literally do enjoy all of the decks. I really enjoy Tricks as well, but I seem to gravitate more towards passion, especially because when we initially are teaching people, we teach them with us playing passion and them playing passion. So we do passion versus passion. And yeah, it's a great deck.
When you're teaching somebody new, brand spanking new, what's like the one thing that stands out to you as kind of the most shocking to them after they see it?
The most shocking to them is just it's not that bad. It's just not that bad. It's not that hard to learn. And that's like time and time again, people say that.
I kind of figured that was going to be the answer. I was like, I kind of hope you say that.
Yeah, it's really not, and it's so nice when people actually they see it and you see them learning it and how quickly that happens. You're like, okay, yeah, okay, so
By round 3, generally everyone's just like, okay, I don't need you anymore. Like, but they might ask me like keywords because there are still keywords in the game, such as like clone or charge or hey, how does thorn work?
Right.
You know, that is, I think, how do I expend a die? What's insanity? Like, that's gonna happen in every game. But beyond that, they're like, I don't need you. I know how to play these cards. I know how to play the dice. Or roll the, where to put the dice. I'm like, okay.
I mean, even last night we didn't, like I was saying, I snoop around and see who's in the voice chats, and there was one of our amazing community members teaching a new person, and it was just amazing to see, that like baton being handed over and someone else teaching our game, somebody new.
Absolutely. So last couple questions here about like reaching out and getting engaged and getting involved. Naturally, we have the Kickstarter. Go make that a thing. But if you want to see the game, you guys are on TTS.
Yes.
Do you have any like kind of weekly scheduled learn to play nights or events?
Yeah, so right now it's scheduled for Mondays. We're going to change it to Sundays now. We're finding that that's a much better day. We get much more involved than Sunday nights.
Beginning of the week, people are like, no.
I don't really want to play.
It'll be 5 to 6:30 on Sunday. We're doing it today but from now on it'll be Sunday. So probably this Sunday going forward. No. Yes, this Sunday.
Sundays. This is not getting posted today. Sundays. PST, right? You guys are, when you're saying time Pacific Standard, right?
Yes.
Okay. So did you say 5:30, 6:30? Still working that out?
Yeah. 5 to about 6:30, 7, somewhere there on Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday, but literally this coming week. So fair warning. Fair warning.
Yes. You mentioned like doing a bunch of the stuff on the website. Do you have a website that's kind of functional? You guys still working on it?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We do have a website, but there's not much going on there just yet. It's kind of just a show of cards.
Okay.
And we need to move over there. We haven't quite got that up and running, but it's coming.
So best way to find you right now is Discord.
Instagram
or Discord. So Instagram, I assume it's both are Back Alley Mages. Well, I mean, but Discord you don't search that way, but
everything. I literally own Back Alley Mages everything. Yeah, that was not, no one thought, that was
our website is
email
mages.com.
backalleymages@gmail.com. I mean, you name it. YouTube, Back Alley Mages.
We locked that one in.
Facebook, Back Alley Mages, yeah.
2 more questions. 1, where did Back Alley Mages come from, and was it always the name?
Okay, easy. I could tell you this one. So it was, I was like, man, I want to make a dice game. I want to make a game where you're slinging dice. And I was like, man, where does it sound like you sling dice? And I was like, oh, the back alleys. And then, it's not even a joke. And then I was like, but instead of slinging dice, I want to sling spells. Okay. But I want it to feel like you sling your dice, you're slinging spells. And I was like, oh, so we're mages slinging dice in the back alleys. And I was like,
all right,
we're Back Alley.
Like underground Harry Potter. Let's go. Big crowds, everybody surrounded.
Then we realized the invitation was BAM, and we were like, oh no, this is it. This is it.
All right. Last question. Wrap this up. Anything I missed? Anything you guys want to just share with the community that we did not cover? What's your last words, parting words here? That's my wife, all the way. Hi, Sam. That's Sam.
Hey.
I'm super mature.
Yep. Anyway. Whatever. She'll just hang out for the last question. Last thing you want to say? What do you got?
I mean, I feel like you pretty much touched it all, but
I think it's easy to say this. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. You did a great job interviewing us. We have very little, left we want to even say at this point.
I'm thorough.
But to all those who are listening, please check us out on Discord.
Yeah.
Come join the community, talk, chit-chat, play a game, message us directly. You can play with us. We'll teach you how to play.
We're super good about it generally.
And
Two's been a bit crazy, but we're there. We'll answer any questions anytime. No stupid questions.
Communication is key with us, and we'll be communicative throughout the whole process. And if you like what you see, please support us on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is our future, and we're gonna work hard at it. We promise.
Love it.
And we have a team, beyond us, and yeah.
No, I love it. And thank you guys so much for the time as well. I know this was a long one, and it was split up, and it was a big chunk of the day. For everybody who was kind of watching, I did not get a chance to look as much into this as I could have coming into it. So seeing it, and I think my biggest takeaway is how complicated it looked and how not a thing that actually was. That's really cool, and I really like actually the mechanics of it. I was kind of worried about the RNG thing, and I'm kind of not anymore. Like, there are a lot of misconceptions just looking at kind of the adjectives of this. Really do not do what I've seen justice. I am going to join you guys for a game sometime. I'm probably going to ask to record that as well, and because I'm so curious to actually see it executed. I can do it in my head, but it looks really fun. I love a lot of the artwork I'm seeing. I haven't seen all of it. That's why I just say a lot. There could be some I don't like.
That's like your
too bad.
If the artwork is good, you're like in. You're in.
See, she's got it. If the artwork's good, that's a thing. But yeah, Kickstarter, Discord, look at the webpage. All of these are going to be in my all the links are going to be in the description. So find those things, check those guys out. That's all that I've got. Again, this is the first that I've done something like this. So if you have any feedback for me, please reach out, shoot a comment below. What did you like? What would you like to see me do more of? Dave and Jenna, I just had to remind myself what the hell your names are. I am so terrible. I knew D and J because that's my brother is David and I'm Joey, but I wasn't going to call you Joey. That's Sam. That's Luna. Porter and Hazel are around somewhere. This was Decks and Drafts. Thank you guys so much for hanging out for so long. And I will see you next time. That's Hazel. Cheers, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.